Well, welcome to Real People, Real Voices. I'm James Jackson.
And I'm Pastor Wayne Moore.
And we have an exciting show on today for you and your family here on Real People, Real Voices. You know, Dr. Moore, I think that what we have today is going to be a blessing to quite a few people. We have Ida Williams, Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department is going to be here.
Major personality. She's been with them for over 30 years, I believe. She's served the community well. Now she has branched off for about the last year and a half into recruitment. And she has a very, very serious concern about recruitment. And we're going to talk to her about that today. Maybe we can help her get that done.
Yeah, you know, I worked with the police department for 4 years. I was on the merit board. Had a wonderful experience in helping with developing professional standards, hiring disciplinary actions where police officers were concerned. It was just an incredible experience. And when it came to hiring police officers, it was quite a challenge. You have to go through each file and make sure that the people that we were qualifying to be hired could do the job.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're here to do today is help people understand the process, how the process works, and most of all, talk about diversity. I don't believe a police department is complete without having diversity.
Yeah.
And I think we need to have some diversity. And I hope we can help Ms. Williams get that done.
Yeah, so we want you all to stay tuned right here on Real People, Real Voices. Call up your friends, your family. Let them know that we are on the air, WHMB Channel 40. We certainly want them to tune in to get the information that we're sharing on this show. This show is a tool to help make our community better. And so our guest on today, I believe, is going to help with that. Ida Williams have served our community for a number of years now and have done a tremendous job with it. Now, when they see her, they're not going to say that she's been on the force for 30 years.
No, my God. She is an incredibly beautiful woman, inside and out.
Yeah.
We're going to experience that today.
So stay tuned right here on Real People, Real Voices. We'll be back after this. Welcome to Real People, Real Voices. I'm James Jackson.
I'm Pastor Wayne Moore.
And we have an incredible show on today talking about IMPD, our police department, and we certainly thank God for all the work that they do to protect and serve the people in our city. Talking today with Ida Williams. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
And we're talking about recruitment. So I think we were off 2 or 3 years. We indicated you have been with the force for 30 years, but you said about 27?
This is my 27th year, yes.
So, wow, how do you serve for 27 years?
Passion, commitment, and just wanting to help others. Yeah, just wanting to help others.
Outstanding. So, with regard to recruitment, and I had indicated earlier in our first segment that it can be difficult to hire new police officers. A lot of times people think it's very, very easy to do, but it can be a great challenge to, recruit people because you can go find them, but then they have to be qualified.
First of all, our biggest challenge is getting folks that want to be the police. And as we all know, that's not a job just for anyone. Police work is certainly something that you have to want to do. And then once we locate those folks, then you're right, Pastor, getting them through the process can be very challenging. I mean, there are several steps that go into getting to you guys when you were on the merit board, for example. Our first step is to take the written exam. And then after the written exam, they have to take the oral interview. And after that is their physical fitness. And so it takes someone not just physically fit, but also mentally prepared. And they also need that family support and support of friends to really get them through that tough process.
And how many weeks is that? If they make it through those 3 steps, how many weeks is it at the academy?
Well, after that's just the first 3 steps.
Okay.
And then from Pastor Jackson's experience being on the merit board, once they pass those first 3 steps, and then we send them through to the merit board to see if they're qualified or they have certain criteria to go on to the next phase. And that's when we're giving them a conditional offer. And based on that conditional offer, we're able to send them into the background phase. So there are still several phases that they have to go through to get into the academy.
Okay.
But Pastor Moore, once they get into the training academy, that is 24 weeks
24 weeks.
at the training academy itself.
They don't leave, they stay there 24 weeks, or do they?
Well, they can go home each night. IMPD has their own training academy,
Okay.
not like the playing field. So they're there Monday through Friday, and they do go home to their families at night. But that is a 24-week process. And after that academy life is over, then they go into a process that we call the field training program. And that's where they get with veteran officers on the streets for another 20 weeks. Mm-hmm. And then they rotate through the various shifts until the officers feel that they have completed those 20 additional weeks of training. And then they go into what they call the solo phase. So altogether, they have a total of 44 weeks of training that they have to go through.
In order to be a policeman?
In order to be a police officer, yes.
So how's the recruitment going?
The recruitment is going pretty good. For the first time in a long time, we have some money, and we don't have a bottomless pit, but we do have some money. When I went into recruiting 2 years ago, we didn't have the money or some of the resources that we needed. So we went from a 2-man unit last year to now we have a 5-man team. So not only do we have additional bodies that can assist us with recruiting, we do have some money. And that money we're going to take and use toward advertising, along with traveling to go to not just Indianapolis. We have a great community and some great folks that we know that can be here and be great police officers. But this is also, the funding is going to also allow us to go on the road and reach out to some of our surrounding areas and see if we can get some folks.
And Ida, you indicated that one of the challenges is just getting people who want to be the police. Certainly in nowadays, or 21st century policing, we have more officers who are being either shot or shot at. And it's become a little bit more dangerous to be a police officer, and to some degree. It's still a good profession. In fact, my daughter wants to be a police officer.
She needs to give me a call.
Yeah, she's not very tall now. I don't think that makes a difference, does it?
It does not make a difference. As long as you are mentally fit and emotionally prepared, we can get you through the process. Okay. And a lot of folks have that. A lot of people think that height is you know, a requirement, but it's really not.
Okay. So, out of the recruits that you have, you guys take in a lot of people. What is the rate of individuals who actually stay in the program? You guys go through a lot of people. Some do, some make it, some don't.
Well, for example, we recently gave the written exam in April. So we gave the written exam the first week of April, and we tested probably about 400 to 500 people. And each phase of that, each phase of the process, and we're interviewing or testing 400 to 500 folks for 35 positions.
35 positions?
35 positions. And so we'll lose some after the written exam, and then again after the oral interview, some will either not show or they will take jobs with other organizations. But each phase we lose a certain percentage of folks along the way to get to that 35%. So it's kind of hard to say, but a lot of times it depends on, again, where we are in each phase. So each phase we lose someone along the way.
Yeah.
Pastor Jackson, if I may, the diversity end of recruiting. Could you help the city of Indianapolis understand the diversity end?
Well, first of all, let me say this. We certainly want to serve the community. Our police department needs to look like the community in which we serve. And honestly, we are struggling in that area. Our numbers as far as diversity is not quite where we want them to be. And a lot of that stems from the fact that we didn't hire for so many years. And then we lost a lot to retirement and then just the basic attrition. So diversity is something that's going to be important. And we want our community to, our police department and our community to really reflect those that we serve.
And in the next segment, we're going to come back, Dr. Moore, and talk about how we can overcome that challenge. Because I think it's a big challenge.
It is.
And there's a new program that Chief Riggs is going to be rolling out, a cadet program that will roll out in the schools. And of course, I raised an issue about that when you were at the meeting. We talked about this. Great idea, and I think there are some ways to overcome that. But we got a long way to go, and we certainly want to make sure that the city of Indianapolis is protected. And not only that, but we want to make sure that our city is a city that can be used as a template for other cities across America where community policing is concerned. So stay tuned right here on Real People, Real Voices. We'll be back after this. Well, welcome back. This is Real People, Real Voices. Our guest today, very special guest, Ida Williams. And we're talking about recruitment for IMPD. Dr. Moore, is just such a great idea, I think, to not just talk about recruitment for IMPD,
Right.
but to also make sure that the police force is diverse.
It looks like the community. Ms. Williams said that. It needs to look like the community. And I think that the police department would have much success if it looked like its community.
But they are trying to do that.
Yeah.
And when I was on the merit board, they were trying to do that. Some say they need to try harder.
Right.
But if you don't have people applying, then how do you overcome that? And I think Ida was going to kind of speak to that. How do we overcome
How do we
those
overcome that?
challenges?
Trying to get with people to let them know, first of all, that we're hiring. That's key. We've got to get the word out to the community that we're hiring. We have folks within our own house that don't even know that we're hiring. So that's first and foremost. And then as a recruiter, it's our job to go out and meet the people. So some of the resources that we talked about earlier, the money and the additional staffing is allowing us to do that. We're able now to not be at just one place, but be at multiple places at the same time. So just being able to go out to the community and meet the needs and get the word out that we're hiring is the first step that I think we've overcome.
You mentioned that now you can take the hiring act on the road. What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is the fact that with multiple people in our staffing, we're able to go out to different colleges and universities. I spoke already to, for example, Atlanta, and they got a big career fair coming up in September. So we're able to go out there and hopefully take our testing process.
Okay.
For years, traditionally, IMPD has only tested here in Indianapolis, but we're hoping that in the future that we can go out to other cities and be able to put our testing out there, let folks not have to come to Indianapolis to test, but we can test from where we are, from their community.
Pastor Jackson, you mentioned the idea of and we were both in that meeting where it talked about the cadet program. It's going to be a good program if funded. Anything you do nowadays has to be funded. What do you think about the cadet idea?
I think it's a great idea, especially since that program now falls up under me,
Okay.
or the recruiting unit. One of the things that we recently did was transition. We call our cadet program the Explorer program.
Okay.
And that Explorer program now falls up under the recruiting office.
How old do you have to be to participate in that program?
Well, we have two age groups, but the ones that we're targeting right now is 14. Okay. So we can have those young people from 14 to 21. And we have another younger group, but the 14 to 21-year-old, they're able to go out on traffic details. They're able to suit up in that cadet uniform, and they're able to take some additional courses. We got a group that's going to be going the end of July to Arizona to compete and a competitive
As
process
cadets.
as cadets, as explorers. We partner with the Boy Scouts. So those young folks will be able to go out and compete with other cadets from across the country. And we're hoping that we will continue to build that feeder system, is what we're looking at, our Explorer program, as a feeder system into our hiring process when they become 21.
What can the faith-based do? What do you think the faith-based community can do to help you?
Well, again, it's that networking. We would like you guys to come alongside of us.
Yeah.
And it's like folks are saying, if you see something, say something. So if you see someone that you know can be interested in a career in law enforcement, have them give us a call. We have our website, joinimpd.ne.gov. We now have a new phone line, 327-IMPD. And those are two things that if you guys can, the faith-based community can assist us with letting folks know that, A, we're hiring. And if they don't know what the process is, email us, call us, go to our website, and we'll take it from there. But just assist us with getting the word out that IMPD is definitely hiring.
Ms. Ida, tell us about the hiring process and the age and what it takes to become a police officer in Indianapolis.
Well, first of all, the age is 21 to 36 to become a police officer for IMPD. So you could not have reached your 36th birthday by the time you get sworn in. If you are between those ages, 21 and 36, the process is, again, you sign up. So they need to go to our online application at joinimpd.ne.gov and fill out the application. And from that process, you will take the written exam. And then after the written exam, it's going to be followed by oral interview and then the physical ability test.
Question, how many make it through that oral interview? I know it depends on how many you have, but...
It depends on how many we have. Quite a few,
okay,
actually.
great.
Quite a few do make it through. And like Pastor Jackson mentioned earlier, but there are several steps that they have to get through to get to that final acceptance. And so not only after the oral interview, but they go through the physical fitness test. But after that, they have to, again, go through the background. And that's an extensive background which consists of physical fitness by our doctors, not their doctors, but our doctors. And then again, just that in-depth background check. And we go pretty deep in checking to make sure that the folks we're hiring are actually qualified to wear this uniform.
Well, Officer Williams, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I want to encourage those of you who are watching to get involved, go to the IMPD website, find out more information on how you can become a police officer. And certainly for those of you who are watching us on today, we are glad that you joined us. Dr. Moore and I are going to come back in just a little bit with the rundown for what's happened on this show today. And I tell you, Dr. Moore, it's just been exciting.
It has. We have been blessed to have such wonderful people to help us get rolling in the right direction.
And we'll be back after this.
I thought everything would go back to how it used to be. But that wasn't realistic for him, or our family. Make the Connection helped me realize that we are not alone. Other families are dealing with similar challenges and working toward the right solutions together. Visit maketheconnection.net to see stories like ours and learn how your family can start the journey toward recovery today.
Well, welcome back right here on Real People, Real Voices, and I trust that you have enjoyed the show so far on today as we're talking about diversity and recruitment on the IMPD, or Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department police force.
Yes, it's been a great show. I think we've learned some things. I think people across the city of Indianapolis know now that the Indianapolis Police Department is hiring and looking for recruits.
Yeah, and Officer Williams did a great job of informing us and telling us how they're doing that. They're actually taking what they have to the people.
Right.
Not just waiting for people to come, but also going out to the different schools and different organizations and encouraging people to become part of the police department.
She seems to be the right person at the right place at the right time to expand the borders of the Indianapolis Police Department as it relates to recruiting is unheard of. Mm-hmm. And she needs to be commended for that. And hopefully she will begin to work with the diversity issues, not only the diversity issues, but be able to find a cross-section of people who are interested in becoming a police officer in Indianapolis.
And I thought it was interesting that she mentioned the city council have released some money.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, $50,000, I believe it was at one time, to help with recruitment. She did suggest to us that they have been recruiting without resources, and so now they have resources. They can put some dollars to work for the programs that they want to put forward to bring new recruits into the realm of the Indianapolis Police Department, which is great.
Yeah, and I hear a lot of, Dr. Moore, I hear a lot of little kids
Right.
a lot of times will say, I want to be a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if the recruitment process can start at an earlier age,
Right.
when those kids are saying, hey, I want to be a police officer, and helping to guide and steer those young people and put them on a trajectory to actually become an officer.
It's dynamic to hear of the cadet program
Mm-hmm.
as it relates to what you just mentioned about young kids becoming police officers. To be a cadet, that never existed when you and I were in grade school, high school, middle school. That sounds like a good program that might boost knowledge, information about how young people can become police officers.
And I hope that Chief Riggs, and it's something I've certainly mentioned to him, and I'm sure he's thinking about it, how you protect those cadets while they're in school.
That is going to be something of a challenge for a young kid, 15, 16 years old, to say, I'm a police cadet,
Yeah.
and walk the halls of any high school in the city of Indianapolis could be detrimental to his personage.
Yeah.
So I think I'm pretty sure they'll come up with the right philosophy as it relates to how to handle that particular situation.
And hopefully we'll have him on the show
Oh, yes.
to talk to us more about the cadet program and some of the things that they're doing now to prevent crime in the city of Indianapolis. They had a big sweep,
Right.
which took some more criminals off the street.
Right.
And of course, they have said we can't arrest our way out of the situation.
Right.
But there's a lot of other things, preventative things that they've been doing
Another
that'll make a
thing,
difference.
right, Pastor. Another thing that I see them doing is they're tearing down the walls within the IPD to try to get to the community. Mm-hmm. They need the community, and the community needs them. So if these walls can come down, we'll see a better Indianapolis.
Yeah, and I think Indianapolis is a little bit out ahead of most major cities in having a relationship with the community. What do you think?
Right, I think so. For the last 3 years since I've been involved with it, I think they are getting got a long way to go, but they're making some strides in the right direction.
Yeah. So certainly we are very grateful for those of you who have joined us on the show today. Real people, real voices, and it is just wonderful to be able to come into your homes each week to talk about issues that impact and affect you and your family. And we look forward to doing that for many, many more shows to come.
Yeah, it's exciting to be able to stand before the city of Indianapolis and all the viewers who are connected with us today to share ideas and what's going on in the community.
So don't forget to watch us on next week. We'll be right here on WHMB, same channel,
Yeah, same place.
same time, right here on Real People, Real Voices. God bless you.
God bless you.